So I'm here talking with Jess about positive content, and I hope that she would share some examples with us of things that she likes to post on social media to create a positive response.
So it's interesting. One thing that Scott and I, being ex-journalists, is that we subscribe to the show don't tell um, method of posting. When we like to have posts that don't directly ask people to do anything. We're not necessarily asking for shares or telling people to um, come in and get their care here, but we like to kind of shine the light on the positive things that our team members are doing and the experiences our patients have had while they are here in the hospital. And that way, instead of it being kind of gross and in your face, it really is more of a celebration of the things that we can do. And it gives people the incentive to go ahead and organically share it. They want to share it. They want to tell their friends about it, and it doesn't seem real commercially or addy. The other thing is that we don't have an ad budget, so we've had to be much more creative with finding stories and finding good news that will naturally prompt people to want to share it and engage with it.
I think that benefits us on a couple different levels too, because first of all, people tend to tune out preachy messages, especially even if they're a public service type message where there's a value to it. I think if you hear the same thing over and over again, it gets to be something that's easy to tune out. So what you want to do is you want to produce content that is engaging and catches people's eye, but as Jess says, it doesn't necessarily demand that they do anything for you in return. That builds your reputation and causes people to have trust in you, and then when they have a need for your services, they come back.
We've also looked at data and analytics to help us determine the kinds of posts that gets the most response and the most engagement. And so we know, for instance, that nurses, posts that involve nurses or children or babies, people like those posts, and those are much more likely to get people to like and hit the love button, or to make a nice comment or a heartwarming comment, or to tag their friends and say, hey, look at this. It brings them to our page. It prompts them to follow us on our different social media channels, and it drives traffic to our public website.
I think that's another good point because we are a very large organization, and the nurses Jess mentions number about 2,500. And I think it's very important to engage your in-house audience to create and share your brand and help spread things out to another level of followers. So by shining a light on these people, it not only makes them feel good about what they're doing, it makes our audience feel good about what people are doing and creates even more trust.
Lastly, they are probably our first level of defense. They're quick to come to our defense when there are stories in the media or elsewhere that come out. You can see them posting on our page, but also on other pages, making sure to set the record straight and talking about their own experience as employees or as patients here at the hospital. So a really great area to look for champions of our brand.
You know, an example of that is the way that Starbucks coffee chain embraces their audience. And what they've essentially done is created a band of loyal followers by sharing with them in a generous and undemanding way. And those followers support their product. And if someone in the media or a snarky social media poster decides to take aim at them and pick on them, they're not having it. The audience stands up for the product and defends it in a way that is really incredible, frankly. So I think it's really important that you think about the big picture when you develop your social media strategy, as opposed to what you want to tell your client today. You need to think about what you want them to think of you for in the future.
I think the Arlington Police Department here in Texas has done a really fantastic job at creating a brand and creating a feeling around their brand. You know, so often we hear negative things about the police or police conduct, and they have taken the tact on their page to kind of poke fun at themselves and look at all the ways that they are just like you and me, and that humanizes them to their audience. And they posted a video when they were looking for rookie officers that riffed on Star Wars, and that got a lot of attention. And so I think sometimes being creative and thinking outside of the box really can pay off dividends.
So the bottom line is don't take yourself too seriously and don't take anyone else too seriously also. You need to think about who you want to be and how accessible you want to be to your audience and build your social media network that way. And I think that these are all great examples of how things work in best case scenarios. So I hope that helps a little bit in your social media strategy.
Good luck.
One.
Hello, this is Scott Wars, and I'm with Jessamy Brown, and we are primary content producers and social media managers of a large hospital network in Texas. And we're here today to speak about the subject of positivity and constructive nature in social media, as opposed to the overwhelming amount of negativity we see these days on things like Twitter and Facebook. I think a few years ago it was pretty common to see snarky content being produced by even major corporations because they thought it was a great way to engage audiences. But as it's turned out over the last couple of years, those people they've challenged to battle of wits have turned against them, and it's become a battle to try to control the damage as much as trying to make your followers interested in your project. So we'd like to talk a little bit today about the use of positive content in social media to engage your audience in a different sort of way. And instead of having followers and commenters who are criticizing you or arguing with you, you create commenters who are in support of what you're working on and help you to promote your image in the public. I think that's something we do here on a daily basis, and we just want to talk to Jess a little bit about how that happens. What's your experience been, Jess, in trying to create positive content where we are today?
Okay, can we stop? I'm sorry.
Bad question.
Yeah, didn't we tell her we're not talking about us?
I'm not talking about specific. I don't want to say her name.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you still rolling?
Mm-hmm. You want to just stop?
What's easy?
Yeah.